All right, let's take a look at problem M.1.2. Now, whenever you see two triangles that are being compared and you see the word similar, this generally indicates the strategy of setting up proportions. All right, so this would be something that you automatically go to when you see two similar triangles. And a proportion is really just a comparison of two ratios. All right, and so what we're going to do is we're going to set up proportion comparing the small triangle to the big triangle. And the first proportion we're going to set up is the side length of this triangle to the side length of this triangle. And I'm going to set up this proportion as 3 to 6. Now, because I'm comparing the triangles, I'm going to set up a proportion, which means I have to have another ratio, and I'm going to make sure I compare a variable with some actual number so I can get an answer. And I see here that I have a 2 in the small triangle and an x over here in the large triangle. So since my small triangle is on the top of my ratio and the large triangle is on the bottom of my ratio, I'm going to set up my small ratio from this side length is going to be 2 to the corresponding side length on the large triangle is x. And so now I'm going to try to solve this proportion. And the way you solve proportions is to cross multiply. And so I'm going to do 3 times x is equal to 6 times 2, which is 12. I'm going to solve for x by dividing both sides by 3, and then that's going to leave me with x equal to 4. Now, what that means is that anytime I see x in any of my diagrams, I can replace it with a 4, which I'm going to do. And now, since the question is asking me what is the value of y, I need to set up another proportion that includes y. And so now I have a number in the corresponding side length for y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this ratio over here, and I'm going to set up 3 over 6 is equal to, and I'm going to go back up and look at my picture. Now I have small triangle is 4, large triangle is y. And remember, small goes on the top, so I'm going to do 4 over y. And to solve for y, I am going to cross multiply again. So I'm going to get 3y is equal to 6 times 4, which is 24. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And then that is going to give me y equal to 8. And so now we know what our x value is, we know what our y value is. We need to go look at our answer choices and see which makes the most sense. So if x is 4 plus 1 equal to 8? The answer to that is no, so I'm going to cross that out. Is 4 plus 2 equal to 8? Again, the answer is no, so I'm going to cross that out. You're going to use a similar strategy until you realize that 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. So remember, the important notes to remember for a problem like this is when you see similar shapes, you want to set up a proportion which compares one side length to another side length, and you want to do it again for the other sides. So you just want to make sure you have two ratios that you're going to be able to compare. And in this case, remember, we did our small to our large first. So that means in your second ratio, you have to do your small to your large second.